Hi everyone, Matt Hetherington here from mhtabletennis.com, and in my video today we're looking at the Joola Vyzaryz series of blades. There are 3 of them. In this blade we're looking at the Freeze. This is one of these 3 new blades from Joola. Very unique composition and kind of composition process. I had the pleasure of hitting with Team Joola's Sharon Algetti and also Joola coach Judy Hugh from the table tennis center that I play at, the Lily Yip Table Tennis Center. And we put the Joola Vyzaryz Freeze through its paces. We put the Rhyzer 50 Pro on the forehand and the 48 on the backhand, and tried a variety of different things to see how the Vyzaryz Freeze blade would stand up. So let's talk about the composition first. The Vyzaryz Freeze is a very unique composition. It is a ALC, which is quite a stiff and high quality carbon, and that is wedged between 2 layers of limba, both relatively soft woods, the limba layers. So quite an interesting mix there of a stiff carbon layer wedged between the soft limba layers. And that has been cold pressed, and this is a new innovative process that Joola have come up with to cold press during the production of the racket, which apparently adds to the feeling and touch of the blade. So we're looking at a very fast blade that has added softness and feeling. Something I was very intrigued about. Warmed up with it, felt reasonably okay. One of the things that stood out at the beginning was the blocking. I thought it felt very well controlled for blocking. I could add also small variations of topspin, and straight away got into some little opportunities where I could counterloop. Counterlooping back from the table, great safety, good spin control, and produced quite a nice high arc. So it was looking positive at the beginning. Not really the greatest power blade, I didn't feel, but you could definitely feel a good touch off the racket. So I thought I'd go into some table drills, and while I was working up close at the table, I felt things were really good. I had to make sure that I was taking the timing a little bit earlier, and I felt that the strength of this racket really lied in its ability to play against some incoming acceleration or power or spin. So I had to take the ball a little bit earlier in those topspin situations where I was doing these drills. Definitely started to feel as things went on that it was much better suited to staying close to the table. Even at the mid-range, when you're having to generate your own power, I felt that it was not quite as effective. Really, the area that I felt this stood out the most was in countering, blocking, countering, 5th ball attack earlier in the bounce. Any situation where I had incoming acceleration or power, I felt that I was able to kind of slingshot. That's really where the touch and the dwell on the racket helped a lot. And you can see in these situations here where I was playing with Judy, control spinning off the first ball and then trying to go forward and a little bit earlier, close to the table, was really the strength that I felt playing over the table. And that was really the common theme throughout this review. I did try on some occasions to play some 3rd ball attacks against backspin. I felt that I struggled a little more there. Playing shots where you have to drive more direct, or you have to generate all of your own power, I think there was quite a lower trajectory. It's definitely a racket that I felt was more appropriate for brushing the ball. So when I was opening against backspin, even when I was playing quite fast, I had to make sure I was brushing over the top of the ball and not trying to be too direct. I felt the limba came into it a little bit too much when I was playing direct, so you could really feel the softer wood when you were trying to play with a lot of power. And I just don't think that this blade would be well suited for power players or for big 3rd ball attackers. And you can see in these demonstrations here, the trajectory was quite low. and I did hit quite a few nets, so there was definitely some adjustment that needed to be made there. I think overall, really, the strength of this blade is very niche. It's kind of composed for a specific group of players, and I felt more as I tried the blade out that players who play close to the table, that are good, that want that blocking control, and they want to add variances to their blocking, so maybe adding some topspin or adding some pace and changing the blocking variation a lot, those players would like this blade. Also, the thing that really stood out for me with this freeze blade was the ability to have that kind of rebound effect when people are playing at pace. So the forehand countering, the backhand countering, a lot of stuff that was close to the table. Of course, it was reasonably good in the short situations and for putting a lot of rotation on the ball. But I really felt that the absolute strength of this blade was in blocking and countering, staying close to the table, playing earlier in the bounce, and I think that's tailored towards quite a niche group of players. So if that sounds like you, this is definitely a blade that you can consider trying. Of course, I'm going to be coming back with the 2 further blades from this new Vyzaryz line from Joola, and those are the Hybrid, which is the Super PBOC and PBOC on each side, and also the interwoven carbon of the PBOC and ALC, which is the Trinity. So 2 more reviews coming your way from the Joola Vyzaryz series. And thank you guys for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this review of the Joola Vyzaryz Freeze.
Okay, let's do this thing.